What's happening, everybody? I'm Anarka, and it is time for another hardcore punk rock EP review. We are going to go back to 1979 to a classic hardcore punk EP review by a legendary British punk rock band. And they're not just punk rock, they're clockwork. And they're not just clockwork. I don't really know how to exactly describe. The Addicts, my friends, that's who we're talking about. I don't know how to describe them because I've seen them live a few times, and Um, they're the only band that I've ever seen live or that I've ever heard of that puts on a full theatric magical performance that takes you to another dimension, that takes you just you kind of forget that the band you're watching is a hardcore punk band, which they've done new wave, they've done some disco. When I say they've done some disco, they've done it fucking amazingly. These guys have done a little bit of everything. But they do it with such style, with such charm, with such heart, with such class that they could probably put out a country western album and it would sound amazing. I'm surprised they haven't done that yet. The Addicts are like the Beastie Boys of punk rock. You know how the Beastie Boys are all over the place doing every little thing? Hell, the Beastie Boys have done country. Country Mike's did his thing. The Beastie Boys have done hardcore punk, reggae, hip hop. You know, the Addicts are like that. I mean, I don't know. I don't think they've ever done hip hop or country, but they've hit several different genres of rock, several different genres, and they've bounced so much over the last 40-odd years, because they formed in 1975, and they're still playing, so good God, they're over 40 years old, they're almost 45, Jesus, they're gonna be 50 at some point, that's crazy! Sorry, I'm a fanboy. But yeah, they're really good at what they do, and they started out hardcore punk, and they really didn't go mellow until like the late 80s, early 90s, and shit like that, like Filter Virtue and so forth. They kind of went a little new wave, a little bit of disco, but they do it they do it good. So I love them for that. But in 1979, which technically this wasn't their first ever release. Their first ever release was the Addicts demo tape, 1978. But I don't have that. I've never heard it before. I hope I get to hear it one day. I've only heard about it. I don't even know if that was officially released. I think someone just had that and they leaked it. But The Addicts, Lunch with the Addicts, 1979, released on Dining Out Records, was the first ever Addicts released. There's only 4 songs on it. This EP is like 8.5-minute song. This week, Easy Way Out, Straight Jacket, one of my favorite punk rock songs of all time, and Organized Confusion. The song this week just talks about, it's very simple, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. It talks about the days of the week. Monday morning, got that feeling. Tuesday, better be more revealing. Wednesday, halfway there. Thursday, we get paid. Friday, another boring day. Saturday, no work, we play. Sunday, we pray. 7 days a week this week. And it repeats itself. It's just your typical week. We can all pretty much relate to that to an extent, and it's really fast too. Monday when I got that feeling, Tuesday Wednesday halfway there, Thursday beginning. Yeah, I can't sing like they do, obviously, but that's a really fast-paced song just about the generic week of someone. Really anyone can really relate to that. That's why the Addicts are awesome. The song "Easy Way Out" is obviously about a suicide of one of the friends of the band. And I know that because I think it's on Rockers in Orbit or something like that. One of their live albums, before they actually get into the song, they're like, this next song is about a buddy of ours who decided to fucking kill himself because he's a fucking bitch. Like, it's, okay, this song is a bit of a jab. It's not so much of, oh, our friend died, we're so sorry, which they're upset about it, but we've all been born to our life's insecurity. How do we know if we'll die or if we will recover? From day to day, we live our lives the same way. No money to hold in our hands and no time to spend. I'm not gonna sing the rest of it. But yeah, the first part is pretty deep, and we all have been there. We live our lives in security. How do we know if we'll die? We recover. We're all going through hardships and good times. Life throws curveballs at you. And so, sometimes it's really hard to just keep the courage and to keep the motivation to keep going. We get depressed, we get down in the dumps, and you never know. You never know if you're going to get hit by a car, if you're going to have cardiac arrest. You never know when you're going to go. And when you're in the worst part, you're looking for the light. When you're depressed and just fucked up, you're looking always for a better tomorrow. And sometimes it feels like it'll never happen. So, we all get into that position in life at some point. No money to hold in our hands and no time to spend it. You work 7 days a week, 5 days a week, whatever. You make that paycheck and then fuck, it's gone because of rent, bills, and all that bullshit. Yeah, we've all experienced what the message of Easy Way Out's about. That's the first part. Now the second part is, so I choose the easy way out, to do my body some harm, cut my throat and slash my wrist. Even try electricity, I cut my throat, slash my wrist. It's the easy way out. Yeah, that's the dark part of the song. And they wrote this about a friend of theirs who actually killed themselves, so it's actually got some merit behind it, which it's a bit dark. It's really dark, actually. The first part of the song just talks about, as I just mentioned earlier, and the second part just kind of goes into details. Like, yeah, fuck all that, I'm depressed. I work for nothing. Life's meaningless. Cut my arm, slash my wrist, cut my throat. I'm done. Really, really, really sad song, but, it's one that I've known about the song for over 15 years, and I used to, when I get depressed, sometimes I give it a listen, and it does, it speaks to me on that level, and sometimes, it helps me bump out of it. I mean, I'm not suicidal, but, when I was a teenager, and sometimes I thought about suicide, when I thought about suicide, I'd maybe listen to Easy Way Out, or another song similar, and it has the potential to speak to me in such a way, you just want to shout the lyrics to it, and yeah, it's like, fuck no, I'm not taking Easy Way Out, I'm not going to do that, because the way they sing this, it's not, like, the first verse is serious in the sense of the delivery of the lyrics. It's serious about, we all go through tough times, but the second verse, although it says, so I chose the easy way out to do my body some harm, it's kind of saying in more of a sarcastic way, because they're making a reference to a friend of theirs who killed themselves. So it's not in the same tone as the first verse. It's got a more sarcastic bend to it, because they're kind of mocking him for it. Like, why, you fucking bitch, you coward, you killed yourself. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's kind of a two themed song in a way. I mean, it's the same idea, but you know what I'm trying to say here. The next song is Straight Jacket. Police pulled me in on a Saturday night, accused me of thieving and started a fight. Never did a job, I swear. Cops come from everywhere. They're always fucking with my generation. They don't need any provocation. I love this song. This is one of my favorite songs by the Addicts. Of all their albums, I fucking love Straight Jackets, because this song is just about the police getting you, they're busting you. Police have always been known since the beginning of the punk rock revolution. They've always been known to raid the clubs, bust up the punks, harass the punks. Punks in the state of mind. It's something different. It's something that, especially back in the fucking 70s and 80s, punk rockers get killed. No matter where you're from, if you're a punk rock back in those days, your parents hated you, your police hated you, your church hated you, school hated you, jocks and nerds. Everyone hated the punks back then. They thought we were fucking crazy, insane. Harry, beat the shit out of him, lock him up, put him in a straitjacket. God damn, I relate to this song so fucking much. I always used to, and still to the fucking god to this day. Depending on what type of shirt they wear, police officers are supposed to be, hey, what's the crucifix? What's the day global? Feed us a fetus. What the hell? Bad religion? Yeah, I have been dealt that so much they're alive. You can't even be into certain music anymore, 2019, without some police officer, some authority figure. Hey, I don't like that. You're fucking weird. What's wrong with you? Bad religion? The Addicts? What are you addicted to? Are you a drug addict? Put that motherfucker in a straitjacket and lock him away for life. Ha! Yeah, I love the song Straitjacket. I could talk for 3.5 hours about that song. I know there's only 4 verses, but them 4 verses speak magic, just like the Addicts are. They're magical. Yeah, I know the Lunch with the Addicts EP doesn't really have much, there's no magic performances going on. I mean, this is 1979. At this point, they've been a band for about 4 or so years, and so, they did some Joker stuff back then, because, other than the magic theme, the whole Joker and the Pack theme, that was also the band's kind of suitcase. They're huge, die-hard fans of the Clockwork Orange. You'll see that in Smart Alex and so, which that's later on, but yeah, Addicts are awesome, and they just know how to make good music. The next song and the final song on this album or EP is called Organized Confusion, and just as the song states, it's pretty much that. The song Organized Confusion, it's very simple. There's 2 words. You can scream and shout it all you want. Organized Confusion! Organized Confusion! Just shredding the hell out of that guitar and the drums and the bass. Stops. Organized Confusion! Just like that. The whole song. The song's like 6 minutes long. Well, it's not a 6 minute song. It's at the 6 minute mark. It's kind of a lengthy song. It's about 2.5 minutes. But yeah, it's very simple. And I like at the end of Organized Confusion. I like at the end of Organized Confusion where I like at the end of Organized Confusion where the guitar just stops and they're like, Organized Confusion, and then chaos piano. I can't make a piano noise, obviously, but it's fucking awesome. That song, that's what I'm saying. The Addicts are magical. They do things that you really don't expect. Because you're listening to this EP in general, it's a hardcore, fast-paced, hardcore punk EP, and then at the end of the last song, they're tearing the shit out of a piano, and that is honestly the best way to end an EP like this. And now let's talk about the artwork. We got 4 friends, and I'm going to guess a school or something. I don't necessarily know where they're at. They're having lunch. Maybe they're at a diner. It looks like they got 5 friends on here. They have 5 friends. Looks like they're kids or babies almost. I think they're eating a cake or something. The image I have, I've never actually owned the physical thing, but I'm looking at it online here. It's this bunch of 5. They're lunch with the addicts. They're all addicts. They're eating cake. I'm pretty sure that's a cake or that's something. It's very old school type EP there, which another cool thing is the photo of the 5 boys was taken from outside of a building, as you can see the bricks around there, around the window. So somebody just came up to the window and took a picture of 5 kids having lunch. I mean, that sounds kind of weird, but hey. It's 1979, what can you expect? The insert just says Lunch with the Addicts, Easy Way Out. This week, it's got the songs on there. Recorded at Hillside Sound Studios, Ipswich. The Addicts are Pete Davison, something kid on... I can't really read that name because it's cut off of there. Kid D on drums. Mel Ellis on guitar, Tim Hawking on bass, and Monkey on vocals. Obviously, Monkey's always been in the band. 2 Addicts Everywhere, and Everyone in Ipswich. Sleeve 11. Yeah, kind of cut off there. I don't know who posted this, but yep, that's the insert. Addicts for a Day were... Oh, yeah. So, in this time, I think they were actually called Addicts for a Day, I think is what their very first name was. I just remembered that. Thank you to this insert here. And then the record itself shows one of the addicts just taking a drink. The Addicts Easy Way Out this week. Yeah, very basic show there. But anyway, guys, I'm Anarka. Thanks so much for watching this review of the Addicts. Lunch with the Addicts 1979. I hope you enjoyed it and you'll listen to it. That's what done here.